Hi folks, thank you once again for watching here on Making Your Own Formulas, or on YouTube or whatever platform this may end up on that you are watching. So today I'm going to be doing a hand purifier, sanitizer, whatever you want to do, with a homemade, similar to something like Thieves or On Guard formula, made with just separate essential oils blended together. I went online, found some ones I liked, going to adapt them sometimes to what I prefer and sometimes to what I have on hand. So I think it's something that will work good, and I like the added benefit of the little bit of herbs. So when you're out and about and you want to use a little bit of hand sanitizer, nothing wrong with a plain sanitizer, but I like a little bit of herbal goodness in there. At the end of it, I'm going to go over some other options of how you could make this if you do not have the essential oils. So stay tuned for that, and don't forget to check that out. So to begin with, I'm going to start out with 40 drops of Clove Bud essential oil. And this stuff is thick, so we'll see how much this takes to drip out of here. And what I have here is an old empty bottle of essential oil. So I'll be putting that in there, and then I'll be labeling it whatever I want to call my formula here. So what I think I'm going to do is, could someone hand me a 1/4 teaspoon, please? And we'll do it this way. 40 drops I think would be, it's probably going to be a little over a 1/4 teaspoon. I'm just estimating there. I could probably look it up later, but I'm going to wing it here. Once again, I'm just rolling with something. We'll go with right at a 1/4 teaspoon. That was more than I thought. Right-handed. And it made it. Can you believe that? Okay, there we go. Clove Bud Oil, if you've ever messed with it, it's really thick, and some people it burns their hands, some people it doesn't. I'm going to wipe it off just so I don't spread it everywhere. There we go. And if I get it somewhere else, I can wipe it up. There we go. So then we have 35 drops of lemon essential oil, or you can do orange essential oil. I'm sure most any citrus would work, so 35 drops. One, this isn't a science. I'm getting it close, but it's not a major issue. And then what was recommended was cinnamon oil. I'm assuming that would be probably your cinnamon cassia oil. I have cinnamon leaf, and I've used it in place of cinnamon many times with good success. So we're going to go with, they say 20 drops. Yeah, it's kind of warming, so we'll probably stick with the 20 drops. You don't want to increase your really warm ones too much, or you may end up with an issue there. So, let's see. We're going to do this one the same way. So it's 20 drops, so we'll do just a little bit in my 1/4 teaspoon here. That's about half. So then, get that in there. There we go. I have a chart somewhere, I didn't have it with me, that marks how many drops are in like a 1/4 teaspoon or whatever. I could look that up. And then it calls for 15 drops of eucalyptus oil. So we'll do 15 drops of that. And then they say 10 drops of rosemary oil. We have a lot of long hair in our house, so when rosemary oil comes in, it usually gets used fairly quickly for our hair. So I'm more likely to have a little bit of oregano oil on hand. So oregano oil is really, really, really hot. It will hurt your skin if it's left on there without dilution at all, for sure. And if it's not diluted enough, it still will hurt. So you usually weaken it down a great deal. So they call for 10 drops of rosemary oil. I'm probably just going to do 2 drops of oregano oil. But it's a good antiviral, antibacterial, so I feel perfectly safe in putting it in there. I'm just not going to put very much. So just 2 drops in there. 1, 2. There we go. We'll just call that good. When I dilute it in like a roller bottle for oregano oil, it's 2 or 3 drops in a 1/3 ounce roller bottle. So yeah, you don't use much, and it usually always works. We've never had it not work. So we'll just go with 2 drops in here. Okay. So give that a shake. Alright. So here we go. We'll be using this into our hand sanitizer recipe now. If I can get it over here. There we go. So, this is actually an aloe vera bottle that is emptied up. It just has like a slight coating in there, but since it has aloe vera in it, I didn't see a reason in having to wash it out. So that if you see something in the bottle, it's just the slight coating of the aloe vera gel that was emptied up. So, we'll go with 2/3 a cup of your isopropyl alcohol, or otherwise known as rubbing alcohol. So 2/3 a cup, and I have to put it in the bottle. And that's going to be right at 2/3 cup, and that was just right. So we have 2/3 cup of our isopropyl rubbing alcohol, and then we have 1/3 a cup of aloe vera gel. Give this a shake. That does smell really good. So 1/3 a cup here. And we'll see if that goes through very well. I might have to force it. There we go. Get in there. 1/3 cup of that. And we have a teaspoon of jojoba oil is what everybody recommends. I have grapeseed oil in hand. Personally, I prefer grapeseed oil. It seems to absorb into the skin better. You basically use the oil of your choice, whatever you want to use. Just a little bit of moisturizing to help counteract the drying effect of the alcohol in here. So we'll put a teaspoon in here. Alright. And then 20 drops of your, that is not the right way, 20 drops of your Thieves blend, or your On Guard, or your homemade blend. So you can use whatever you want. So we have 20 drops, so I'm going to go with about 1/8 of a teaspoon here, just to make it easier measuring for me. If later I want to go back and add more, I always can. There we go. And if you were in person, you could see that mixing right into there. And then 20 drops of peppermint they recommend. I've got some lavender and some tea tree that I wanted to put in. Once again, I'm just kind of blending some things that I like personally and I've used in the past. So I'm probably going to go with maybe 5 drops of each. So 5 drops of peppermint. And then 5 drops of lavender. And 5 drops of the tea tree. And then we're going to give this a shake. And we'll have our sanitizer ready to go. And this is a little bit watery. You can buy thicker aloe vera gel and it's going to come out a little bit thicker. If this is too watery for you in a squirt bottle like this, You could also put it in a spray bottle, or you could even use it, I guess, to saturate some heavy grade paper towels and use it like that as to clean up the surface. There's all kinds of uses for it. So I wanted to give this a try. I've not ever officially made it by a recipe before, so I thought I would give it a try. It does smell good. It smells really good. So that's how that turned out. This is a aloe vera gel that is actually able to be consumed internally, not just the ones like you would rub on your skin. So it is a little bit more liquidy. It's organically grown. I like it. This brand particularly was really thick and was external use only because of the thickeners and other things contained in it. This one over here, without the alcohol, because the alcohol preserves it, but without the alcohol, this actually has to be stored in the refrigerator. So it's just a little bit different there. I'm thinking that's probably why it come out a little bit more watery, but I'm good with it. So that's how you would make something similar to Thieves or On Guard or any other, I know Now Foods has a blend out that's kind of an antibacterial cleansing, things like that, to mix up your own. It's just an idea, something to start with. You can also, of course, put this into your diffuser. You could put a few drops into a roller bottle and roll it on as needed. There's all sorts of uses for Thieves and On Guard and other blends such as that. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. And remember, anything in these videos and on this page is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease, and they have not been evaluated by the FDA. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video, and I hope you'll be back again as we share more herbal remedies that our family enjoys. Thanks for watching. Hi folks, sorry again. It's just Brandy back with another video that I meant to put on the last one before I finished. So I told you guys that I would show you or tell you how you could make the hand sanitizer without the essential oils. So it may affect minorly the properties, but the alcohol is a major key in helping to sanitize your hands. So something you can do if you do not have access to the essential oils. It would take a little bit of time, but hey, it should work, or at least it'll help, and it should smell wonderful. So what you would do is you would take your isopropyl or rubbing alcohol, and you would take dry herbs. So you have your herbs of such as, you could use your lavender, you could use your, you can buy eucalyptus leaves. Let me see if I can get my recipe up here so I don't screw it up. Let's see. So your cloves, you can pick up cloves at your grocery store. Your lemon oil, you could use your dehydrated lemon peel. Cinnamon, obviously you can pick that up at your grocery store. Eucalyptus you could use, or you could replace it with like oregano leaves, something like that. Rosemary oil, you could replace with rosemary. So basically you would just go through there and whatever it calls for. Your cloves, you can buy cloves dried in your baking section. Lemon oil, you can buy the dried lemon peels. Cinnamon, you can buy dry. Eucalyptus, you can buy dried, but you could use something like oregano leaf if it's easier to get at your grocery store. And rosemary oil, you could use dried rosemary. And what you would do is you would measure it out in parts. So if you do 40 drops of clove oil, then you would use 40 parts of clove powder, or ever how you bought your cloves. So then your parts could be a 1/4 teaspoon, or even by weight you could do 1/4 of an ounce, or ever how you would work it out. And so you would measure it out in your ratio, 35 parts of your dried lemon peel, and 20 parts of your cinnamon oil, 15 parts of your eucalyptus, or you could use oregano, and 10 parts of your rosemary. So you would blend that into a ratio, and in previous videos I have covered it. If you have not watched those videos and it doesn't make sense to you, feel free to message me or comment below, and I'll be glad to help you out whatever way I can. I have books that explain it maybe better than I can, and I can send you a screenshot, whatever the case may be. But you would just mix it in the same ratio as you would mix your oils, and then you would just set that aside for time being. Then you could measure out by weight 1 ounce of that blended herb mixture. Or you could do a 1/2 ounce, whatever how much you would need. But for 1 ounce of that dried blended herb mixture, you could put that into a jar and put 1 cup of your rubbing alcohol over it. Make sure it's saturated. If for some reason it doesn't want to completely cover, then just put you a little bit more alcohol in there until it's all completely covered. You don't want it sticking out the top and being dry. So make sure it's all completely covered. Put you a lid and ring on it, and then shake it 2 to 3 times a week for 4 to 8 weeks. People vary on how long they let it set, but 4 to 8 weeks would be how long you would let that set. So after it's all done, then you could strain it up, and for your 2/3 cup of isopropyl or rubbing alcohol, then you would just measure out your infused rubbing alcohol that you put your herbs into. And I'll write the directions out on the post or in the description box below, but you would use your infused rubbing alcohol, and what it does is alcohol extracts the medicinal properties. It's all of the goodies out of your herb then are transferred into your alcohol and makes a great base for a lot of things. It's commonly called a liniment if you use it by itself. I made a muscle relax mixture that included muscle relaxing herbs. I made it with the isopropyl alcohol, and then you can rub it on the tight muscles and it does greatly help. So those are ways you could make it if you do not have access to the essential oils, or maybe it's just too much to order, whatever the case may be. But you can make this without essential oils, and that may be a video we follow up with later. So I hope you stay tuned as we use this. Like I said, it's the first time I have made this exactly by a recipe, so I'll be letting you guys know how it works for us. And thank you once again for watching. God bless.